Hello, JMike. Hello, Dr. Ben. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Dr. Ben, I'd like to congratulate you on your promotion to doctor.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyway, I'll let to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
God is very necessary for morality in the lives of young people.
Okay, it's God's necessary for morality, as you said?
Yes.
Okay, world A baby is thrown off a building, and God exists in that world. Okay, did something wrong happen?
Yes.
Great. World B, a baby's thrown off a building, and there's no God in that world. Did something wrong happen?
You throw a baby off a cliff is wrong, no matter what.
Okay, so God isn't necessary for morality then? That seems like the quickest debunk of a point I think I've ever had on the show.
You see, here's what you don't understand. But many young people have...
Well, no, hold on, John. Go back real quick. I want to make sure I heard you right, because maybe there's a chance I misheard you. Did you agree with me that in World B, something wrong occurred? Something that ought not occur? Like throwing the baby off the building, despite there being no God?
Yes.
Did you agree with me that it was wrong?
Yes, I just said that.
Yeah, so God wasn't necessary in that world to establish the intrinsic action of baby suffering being thrown off of a building, right? This is the weird thing, because like if you had said no, like nothing wrong went, then I would, you'd be consistent in terms of saying God's necessary for it, but at the expense of not caring about what happens to the baby. Like none of that matters. It's just if God sprinkles like a little metaphysical salt and pepper on it, and it's like, okay, now it's bad, right? You have to like have this extrinsic type of forcing onto the action. But you didn't say that. You said something wrong occurred in the world where God doesn't exist. So I don't like, honestly, I kind of want to drop the call. I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to go to Ben because your point has already been dismantled, but you can continue. I just want to point out, just so that we're clear and concise, your argument's done. Finito. Bye. Adios.
Okay.
But Ben, feel free to continue.
No, I want to hear John's response to that.
I'm not trying to say that God decides what's right and wrong. I'm saying that God is necessary to keep people on the right path, because a lot of people have sworn that it wasn't until they found religion that they started becoming productive citizens. Because many of them people were young juvenile delinquents, then they found religion.
Sounds like now you're changing the claim. Sounds like, John, now it sounds like you're changing the claim from, because I think I asked, I mean, again, I'm always willing to say I made a mistake, but I think if you go back and listen, I asked, so you're saying God is necessary for morality? And you said yes. But now it seems like you're saying people believing in God is necessary in order for them to do things that you consider good or bad. That seems like a change from what you said.
It's not a change. It's the reality.
Yeah, John, can people do good things for bad reasons?
Repeat the question?
Can people do good things for bad reasons?
People do good things for bad reasons. Like what?
Yeah. So like, let's say I decide that I'm going to go feed the homeless because I'll steal this from Forrest because Roland the Closet Goblin told me that would be a good thing to do. I still did the good thing, right? Even though Roland probably doesn't exist, and that's kind of a stupid reason for me to go feed the homeless.
You watch your mouth, Ben. You watch your freaking mouth.
Yeah, man. What I'm trying to tell you.
Right. No, answer my question, John. Answer is, can people do good things for bad reasons?
Good things for bad reasons? Yes. And people can do the right thing for the wrong reason.
Right. So like young people, so like you're giving the example of young people that were juvenile delinquents that found a religion and then used that as motivation to do good things and to stop doing bad things, that they don't necessarily need that reason to have made them do the good things. Maybe if you swapped in something else, like let's say they, I don't know, instead of finding a religion, they decided that they wanted to go back to school, and get a career. They wanted to like open a business or something. And they learned that in order to engage with society at that level, in order to be entrusted with opening a business and going to school, that they would have to change what they were doing and interact with society better in ways that we would call moral, right? So then their motivation, even though this might not be considered a bad reason, but it's not the only reason why you could change your ways. So I actually think that's probably better incentive, because that's an actual demonstrated goal and reward that they could have. Whereas I found a religion, but I believe this to be true, and I'm going to do good things. They're both good things at the end of the day, but you can do things for your own intrinsic joy and benefit, and then somebody else benefits on the flip side from it, even though that wasn't your intent, wasn't to necessarily do the good thing, right? I maybe word saladed a little bit, but do you see why your claim doesn't really stand?
I live in Canada. You live in the United States. But from what I'm standing,
that's irrelevant.
I am answering your question. I am seeing riots taking place all over your country because people no longer believe in God.
Okay, so you're
not believing in their own happiness.
So you're committing a fallacy. You're committing a fallacy here. So I'm going to explain what your fallacy was. So you said that this thing happened. So you're saying that riots happened, and then you're saying that was caused by people being less religious. So something happened after something else, and these two things might not actually be related. You're just claiming that because one happened after the other one, that therefore that first thing caused the second thing. And that's a fallacy. That's bad reasoning, right? Because I can relate any two scenarios together. And this is the same thing we see with vaccine arguments. And people will say that vaccines cause autism because it's a correlation maybe without a causation. And number one, I don't even have a correlation at all with this. So we're not even at that first step there. It's just you made a claim that something happened first and then this happened after, therefore they're related. And you can't really do that.
Okay. Okay. Do you agree with me? There was a time where there wasn't so much riots in the United States. Do you agree with that?
I don't know. I don't know the statistics.
You don't know. So why do you explain all the riots? How do you explain all the riots that are taking place? Please tell me. I want your true opinion.
Well, you're the one that has to demonstrate. Yeah. You claim that the riots were increasing in number, so you have to demonstrate the data that suggests that.
John, this movie, I've picked up on this a lot more recently with people. It bothers me. I don't think people are doing this dishonestly. I think in a lot of cases they are. When you make a claim about these riots are due to people not believing in God, if you ask a question to somebody, well, how do you do this? Like, I'm just assuming like some personal incredulity there, or that you're trying to like just shift the burden, because what Ben thinks about it is just fucking irrelevant to your claim and substantiating the claim. It's that Ben's thoughts or attitude towards the proposition play no role in whether or not you can actually demonstrate this, right?
And real quick, I wanted to clarify, just in case people decide to clip things out later. Vaccines do not cause autism, and I was using that as an example of the logical fallacy that was going on. So do not clip that out and say that I said something, because that's not true.
Yeah, it does seem a little post hoc. I mean, John, what do you have? Because I feel like we're going to get into this and not get anywhere if we're not going to get you to focus. So just at least focus. What evidence or argument do you have that's going to support the claim that people are becoming immoral or riots are happening because they don't believe in God? Because I just want to say, by the way, 27 seasons of this show, I mean, none of the hosts have formed or started riots. None of our viewers, I believe, have. I'm pretty in depth with the community, the atheist community in general, and this just sounds like kind of bullshit.
Okay. Were there lots of riots in the 50s? Answer that question.
Me asking a question, me answering a question is just you failing at the task that's set before you, right? If I'm a teacher and you're supposed to do a test and you come up to me, you just start asking me questions. I'm going to say, sit the fuck back down and do the test. What are you asking me questions for? You're the one who's supposed to pass this and show me that you are capable. So sit down. Don't ask me a question. Don't ask Ben a question. Give evidence for your claim, or I'll be happy to drop the call. I mean, look, I'm happy to show you wrong twice in one call. I'm very happy to do it.
You're very happy to do what?
To show you that you don't know what you're talking about 2 times in a row. So go ahead with your evidence.
Okay. And ever since critical race theory has become a reality, people have been taught that white people are responsible for slavery and that black people are entitled. And because of that,
how did we get to this?
Where am I?
Your question. You asked me to make my point.
That's not evidence. Going to a tangent is not evidence for the claim you already made. You were just talking about riots and religion, and we're still waiting to understand what the connection between these are and what your evidence is that that's even a problem. And then you just go off on a tangent. Can you focus to one claim and back up that one claim before moving on to more claims?
Focus on the claim that the the people that are doing these riots or that people are going away from God or doing bad is because of God. But I'm going to point out that the prison system, or if you just polled the people in the riots, probably majority religious. You'll probably find a very small amount of atheists in there, if any.
And how do you know that?
Because just statistically, that's likely to be the case, right? There's statistics to show, just in general, more people are religious. But too, I mean, if you want to talk about the prison system, I mean, you can look up the data yourself. I mean, you'd be pressed to find a lot of atheists that are just chilling in prison. But point being is that me answering a question is irrelevant to you actually substantiating the claim, right? So I don't need to keep adding it's probably a fault for myself. I shouldn't add anything. I should just keep you focused on answering this. So I'm going to be clear. Do you have anything or not? Just be honest. It's because I don't think you do. I'm not even convinced you've thought past this point yet.
I want to live in a better society, don't you?
That's not evidence for the claim. Last chance, John. Last chance. You ask me a question or tell me about your feels. I don't care. Give me the evidence, right? The evidence is indifferent to the feels and questions. So just present the evidence or I'm going to hang up. I just have you know what? I'll make a novel prediction. I'll give you evidence. I predict in this call, you won't give evidence. And when I ask you this question and you don't do it, that's a novel prediction, predictive expectation that comes true. And it's evidence for the case that you're dishonest. So I'm going to ask you, do you have evidence?
I am not being dishonest.
Yeah. So novel prediction, predictive expectation, not getting a response, talking about himself, feels questions. I'm not interested in all that. So John, please, you call a lot. We like you to call. We like to talk to you, but for fuck's sake, please come with something like substance. Like you just say stuff. And then when you get to the point, I've noticed, this is the thing I've noticed about you. When you get to the point where you haven't thought about it at that point, that's usually at the point of evidence. You start asking questions or make remarks to people. Please, next time call in, just give a case.